Right. We're
Hello.
live.
Do you need to mute the other?
Oh, I did. No, I did. No, not mine. I don't
Okay.
If I muted mine, then we'd be all done. I had to mute this one because
Oh, you did. Okay.
Shut Up, Carl's not here yet.
What up, Carl?
Now there's an inside joke to that, to why we have Shut Up, Carl, because one of Michael's. So that's Michael's new backdrop there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So one of Michael's things, by the way, you can purchase art by Michael. This is just one example. He uses 3D printing and stencils and spray paint.
Exactly.
Those are his mediums. And he makes TV trays, and on the top of them he has some kind of like saying or whatever. So they have the two droids, and one of them saying to the other one, "Shut up, Carl. Those were the droids we were looking for."
Yeah, the stormtrooper. One of the stormtrooper Carl.
Stormtrooper Carl.
He has a bunch of different stories and stuff through Stormtrooper Carl. Mute your mic, please. On the bottom where it says mute. Yes, you. See on the bottom where it says mute? There's a microphone thing.
Yeah.
Mute that. Click it. Oh my God. Oh, go here. Right there.
It is on mute.
Why do I keep hearing myself?
Well, I don't know. Keep that drama in your corner. I have to start singing my Girl Scout cookie at you.
Not again, please.
Well, put that drama in your corner.
Hey,
hey, look, it's Carl.
Just get on yourself. Hey, Carl. Oh, we unmute you, Carl.
Carl just came on shift.
Carl took a nap.
There were Democrats. They were holding me back. They want to save the world, but all they do is impose new regulations and smell bad.
You took a nap.
I did. And my phone died. I was in the middle of that, so the alarm wasn't helpful.
No.
Oh my goodness!
It went off as I was driving here because I plugged it in the car.
Yeah,
that's Tuesday. Here we go.
It's Friday. Right? Well,
it was one of those where it's like I needed to rest and put my feet up, and I knew this was also going to knock me out, so I set the alarm. I didn't notice that my battery on my phone was at like void, and and it was the Democrats,
and that oh yeah. Of course, it's always the Democrats.
It is,
unless it's the Republicans. So. How was your all's week?
We got lost in the Urals. It was, the mountain range in Russia.
What?
The Ural Mountains.
Why are you talking about them?
Because he said, "How was your all's week?"
Oh. The Urals week. How's your all's week? That was bad. That was awful.
Yeah, it was lame.
Yeah.
But 10 points for knowing that, and the one person who's watching who was like, "Oh, I got it."
Lord.
You're definitely a pepper.
Points for that.
So I'm gonna parlay that over here. I had a good week. Today was the last day of my fairy tale theater camp, and it was fun. We had 27, and we had 11 5-year-olds, and that's a lot of 5-year-olds.
Oh my God, that is a lot of 5-year-olds.
It's a lot of energy and a lot of, so the thing that you learn as a teacher is that certain ages have certain attention spans. And also certain things are taught in a certain way so that you kind of have to achieve this step before you can teach this process, so there's building blocks in education.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a lot of these kiddos who just turned 5, they haven't even gone to school yet. Some probably have gone to preschool, but you have to kind of teach them to people. And so you'll have this little 5-year-old who has the biggest problem. It's not a big problem, but it is to them. And so they jump up, and I'm trying to teach something, and they jump in and they're like, teacher, this, look at me. And so I'm like, okay, this is a great opportunity to show me how you're doing something wrong. Everybody, why don't we do this? Did we just lose our focus? So I use this really passive aggressive teaching. Like, let's teach this moment right now. So if you need something, you go to a helper, not the teacher teaching.
Oh,
so,
yes.
you know, you got to tell them sometimes, like, hey, this is not how we do this. You got to do it this way. And like, I had one kid who's like, you didn't answer me, or, you didn't pick me. And they were so offended. I was like, and I may not.
Right.
Like, welcome to life, kid. So you teach with love.
At that
but
age, so I remember in baseball, doing baseball with T-ballers, which is the same age group.
Okay. And
oh my goodness, you're right. They just it's all about teaching impulse control.
Yes.
That's a lot of it.
Yes.
And then
an attention span is about 5 minutes. And then you got to switch.
Yes.
Or redirect. About 5 minutes attention span. And you're teaching exactly a lot of human skills. How not to push when you're feeling your feelings. How not to say unkind words. Or how not to... Like, I had one kid who just started digging through my purse. And I'm like, no.
What, digging through your purse? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
She totally was just like I could do whatever I want, because apparently in her house, maybe she can, but not in the world.
No,
and so we are teaching the world, this is human skills.
Right.
You will get shot if you do that in some cities. Pew, pew.
I remember reading one of the keys to teaching T-ball or Little League at that age is to substitute the contents of your Mountain Dew can with MGD or something similar.
Okay.
And why? Why is a drunk man okay to be around children at 5?
Well, you have to conceal the drinking, but it's a lot easier to tolerate, the 5-year-olds at mass.
It's
with
funny.
A couple of beers.
It's funny, but
there's science there.
I think it's bad. You should probably have a sober person, because what about injury? What about all kinds of things? You need to be on for the children.
I told the kid what to do. He didn't hit the ball, and he ran backwards to third first. Then
yeah, that's
well, this is why you're not a Little League coach.
The other kid almost got hit in the head when he wasn't paying attention because he was picking dandelions in the outfield. And one kid actually managed to hit it out there.
That actually happens. It happens a lot.
Give me my beer, please.
More than you can even know.
But yeah, it's not fun work, but it's human work. It's something we all have to do. We all have to take a turn. We all have to be a kid. We all have to be a teenager and then a young adult. And now we have to be old adults who have to hold jobs and join committees and boards and teach Little League. Someday you're going to be a grandpa and you don't get to anymore.
Right. But you're teaching acting. So that's a good thing.
And then, educate. So like in the public school system. So yes, I use theater as a way to teach my human skills to little ones. And it's good. Gotcha. You need to have theater in everywhere. Not to take too much time on me, but I think I'm going to say his name right. It's either James Avery or James McCoy. It's the delicious man who was in he's in Split. He was in Wanted with Angelica Jolie. He was Professor X in the new X-Men when they went back in time.
Yeah.
James
Spade. No.
But that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
What he was on a talk show, and he was saying that there certainly is the majority of British actors who are working in America are from posh London schools of acting or getting these very highly impressive programs. But again, who goes to those programs? the rich, right? People
Right.
who
Yeah,
can
yeah.
afford that. So he was talking about, he's like, a lot of these blokes are my friends. They're great. However, in more rural counties or poorer communities, they had to axe theater from the educational roster because they didn't have enough funding or whatever, right? So the first thing to go is theater. And so those children never even got a chance to explore themselves and what could be. And you probably could get a far more larger scope of brilliant actors if you were able to go for the whole pond.
Right.
And so he was just talking about, like, I think that needs to be brought up is the fact that what you're seeing is just kind of the, 8% of what our
Mhm.
country is and has to offer. And I thought that was kind of food for thought. And England's not huge, it's certainly not one of our, like, how big America is.
Right.
And so if you take that, like a small country like England, and then think about how many states we have and how many people we have, and putting education as much as we can into the school system and
Right.
teaching through education with theater tools, I think we could have a lot of talented, amazing humans, not necessarily actors. You don't have to be an actor, but you can take your talent and your passion for art and feed it into whatever you do like.
No, exactly. Absolutely.
So I thought he was pretty cool to bring up that untalked about subject matter, something we don't even think about.
I'm probably not going to think about it after tonight.
There you go. That just flew through this ear and went out that ear. Pooh!
Well, when you're trying to produce a show and
You have a lot
Yes.
on your plate. Let's talk about you. How was your week?
talk about me, I'm awesome.
Oh, yeah?
I went to the movies last night. Saw
Yes,
the
you did.
30th anniversary of Pulp Fiction. What an excellent movie. It really
What year was that?
94.
yeah,
94.
1994.
It's a good year.
Was a good year. Heck yeah. No, it was
It's my freshman year of high school.
It was the movie that made Samuel L. Jackson a household name, and it just seeing his performance in there, it just reiterated why, because it was just spectacular.
Did he have lines or did he have a monologue that was the epicness?
Awesome. But all of it. just his
Everything.
entire essence in that movie. Like he was one of I mean, because it's there's a lot of people in there. There's a lot of stuff going on, but his performance in that movie just stood out above everybody else's.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did. He just some of his deliveries and everything were just amazing. There was
I just shot Marvin in the face.
Too. Yeah.
They don't even care that they killed him. It's just what they made the car look like.
Yeah, when John Travolta and Uma Thurman go out and he's driving to the restaurant, right? You know how usually in movies when somebody's driving, especially in the older movies, they would just, project it on the windows, right?
Sure.
Like and they'd be moving like this. That's what Tarantino did in this movie.
Oh,
But he used old footage, like all the cars. It was all black and white, and it was all old cars that were around them and everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really cool.
What was his car again? Was it a Malibu or?
He had a Malibu.
Yeah.
And
Really
he
classic, awesome car.
Completely crushed into his buddy's house when he took Uma Thurman over there because
Right.
she was ODing. Gosh, all those. And then
when you snort a bunch of high grade heroin.
I mean, so many people in that movie that I didn't even realize was in there. Like Patricia Arquette was in that movie. Did a pretty quick scene on it, but just
There's a couple different lines. She had to act in it. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the wife of the guy who sold
The
him
dealer. Yeah.
Yep. Like
And-
after she stabs Uma in the heart, and like she goes and
Yeah,
comes
that's pretty
apart.
trippy.
She's got this needle in there. Yeah, no, exactly. That was her lines. Wow, that was trippy.
But bringing him some baggy. It was Eric Roberts. Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you bring some baggy? What was her name? Character.
Oh, Jody, I think, or something. It was something like that. Might have been Jody.
Yeah, she brings the thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jody.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I could recite that movie probably scene by scene.
Oh yeah. No, it's so good. We were at the Bear's Tooth, which is a movie
Yummy.
theater here. We can get pizza and beer and stuff.
We have the
And,
best places here.
We had a 3-person booth.
Nice. Yeah, Booth, good call.
Well, yeah, kind of, but it was more like a 2.5-person booth.
Oh.
Sure.
I went with 2 of my very best friends in the world. And if it would have been with you either need to go with very good friends or your spouse or significant other, because that's a cozy little place. I can tell you the 3-person booth, Michael would not have worked in a 3-person booth there.
Gotcha.
All right, well, let's get to it.
The booth's great there because you get to skip the line.
The booth is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. No, I agree. So I've got another video here.
Tell me.
It is. So we've really been cleaning house with these videos. From
You're getting trendy.
Reed trial.
Robbie's getting trendy. Yeah.
And, well, it's a combined effort. You guys do your
Well,
part.
we're cheerleaders in
I
this.
listen to you. Yeah, I listen to you talk about it all the
"Yay,
time.
Look at that.
Hooray for our team.
I made a sandwich. I
Hey, you
helped.
gotta make me a sandwich. No.
I made a sandwich. Yay.
Because these, it's hard to do these videos because it does take a lot of time to collect the clips and then put them all together. And this week I streamed it, which was really cool, so people could see how the process went.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured court was off all last week, right? All last week court was off, and then there was only a couple of days of testimony this week.
Was it because of the holiday?
The holiday, and I guess jurors had this and that going on. So
Okay.
there was one day I think of testimony last week, and that was it. And then this week there was like 3 days. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a video where I go back and look at the opening statements. Because a lot of people have come in late to this trial, and so they might not have caught some of these things. But
you're going to help catch them up.
Opening statements are usually a kind of a basis of how the trial is going to be, right? Like your opening statement should really kind of carry the day, right? It should set up the
what
thing.
We're going to do, what we're going to go through. I'm going to show you these things, and I'm going to tell you how this does this.
So yeah, so it definitely early on showed the styles of these 2 different folks. So let's just kick right into it. Here we go. I'll share some screens. Let me hide.
So as Your Honor was telling you, this is one of the 2 opportunities that I will get to address. The first of which right now, essentially what I'm going to attempt to do, and I know you've heard over the course of the impoundment process a number of different witnesses that were listed out as far as potential witnesses in this case.
Karen Reed was framed. The car never struck John O'Keefe. She did not cause his death. And that means that somebody else did.
One little difference when it came to January 29th is the weather.
Really? The difference is the weather?
Ability to recover within these blizzard conditions certain pieces of evidence where Mr. O'Keefe's body was found.
Are you going to talk about what that evidence is, or
Brian Lawford told Paul Mikowski that he was driving a big snowplow in Canton that night. He makes sure not to hit a fire hydrant or a tree or an animal, or heaven forbid, a person lying in the snow.
Mrs. Kolakaitis had some conversation with the defendant that evening, as well as herself and Mrs. McCabe at the waterfall.
So now we've jumped
She
back
left
in
around the
time.
same-
My opinion on why he's hard to follow, he knows this case so well that he is talking about it not in order, and he's not telling you the story of it.
The defendant is the only one who sees Mr. O'Keefe, yells and screams at Ms. Roberts to stop. Ms. Roberts and Ms. McCabe, I anticipate, will testify that they did not see Mr. O'Keefe, not only as they were driving past him.
So TRM, I kind of agree. I kind of agree. It just seems like too much.
At that point, Colin Albert is leaving. He's getting picked up by a young lady named Allison McCabe, who is Jennifer and Matthew McCabe, who's also friends with Colin Albert and also cousins of Brian Albert Jr., who's within the home celebrating his birthday.
This is like the verbal equivalent of the crazy person's board of string connecting like various events.
But you'll learn that he went through the phone anyway, without permission. And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet.
Holy shit.
That he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed. And he was disappointed he hadn't found any yet. That is the professional and unbiased investigator who was chosen to lead the.
Okay, somebody said not to pause the stream. I'm pausing the stream. I am pausing the stream and I am rewinding this because I am outraged.
So Terry Roberts receives a call about 5 a.m. from the defendant indicating that Mr. O'Keefe did not come home, indicating that he got hit by a plow or that he must be dead. Ms. Roberts then gets.
Sir, you're saying that the defendant is making phone calls saying that he must have gotten hit by a snowplow and must be dead at 5 a.m. the morning before they find him, and there's no change in your voice? None? No change in your voice at all? Like, he's just like, you know, and she's telling people at 5 a.m. before he's even found that he must have gotten hit by a snowplow and be dead. Sir, what?
You'll learn that one of Michael Proctor's high school friends commented to him that with a dead body on the front lawn, the homeowner in this case is surely going to catch a lot of grief. And do you know what Michael Proctor's response to that was? One word. Nope.
Nope. One word. Homeowner's going to catch a lot of grief from this, said his high school friend, and Proctor wrote back, nope.
Is that the defendant, Karen Reed, is guilty of murder in the second degree, striking the victim, Mr. O'Keefe, with her car, knocking him back onto the ground, striking his head on the ground, causing the bleeding in his brain, swelling, and then leaving him there for several hours in oblivion.
Opening statements have concluded in the Karen Reed trial. I found the Commonwealth's opening statement to be a bit hard to follow.
You will reasonably doubt their case because Karen Reed was framed. We will stand before you again at the end of this trial and ask that you find Karen Reed not guilty.
That is a great ending. I feel like the prosecution should be sitting there looking at that opening and going, can we have a do-over?
Four. Yeah, number 4 in the books.
All right.
Back to
Was that the world
back to
premiere?
the beginning. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, world premiere,
That was
people.
the world
Saw it here
premiere.
first.
Right.
Oh, they can't hear us
She
yet,
did.
can they?
Yeah. No, they can.
Oh, they can?
We're back. We're
Okay.
live. We're back on the thing.
Hooray!
I'm just letting this play. And that's it.
drag to
That
reorder.
off.
Fine, I'll do some drag.
Oh. So yeah, there we go.
That was pretty
kind of a-
tight, y'all.
So
So yeah, that takes a while to do, right? How long did that take you? How many hours collectively? Not including the ones you cried in.
The ones I cried.
I
The hours I
anymore,
cried.
man.
I didn't cry. What are you talking about? I don't cry. I don't know what you're talking about. I watched the clips. And,
All of them, right? Lots of them.
Oh yeah, no. So I go through. I start with Emily, the one lady that
With the
that I-
glasses.
with the glasses
Yeah,
and the kind
I
of
like her.
purple tint to her hair. I use her as my baseline, and
Kind of
I
reminds me of Camel a little bit.
yeah,
I was going to say,
absolutely.
yeah, I'd see a lot of Gimel in that.
Yep.
Just the interest
So-
level, the way she talks. Yeah.
Yep. So I use her as my baseline, and I find interesting points of the trial through her. And
Okay.
I'm not just watching it, I mean, I listen to it pretty much during the day. Like
Right.
during the day, I have it on in my ear while I'm working. And so I'm listening to the whole thing while I'm working. And then I'll go back and I'll find other people's stuff. And so that probably took 5 hours or so,
Wow.
4 or 5 hours. And then I'm actually getting faster at it. That's probably more like 2 or 3 hours.
But
Man,
sure,
we
I get
can-
what you're saying about
we can go,
more what you're looking
actually.
for.
Yeah, I can go and look because I've got it on. Let's just take a peek. Let me take a peek. Hang on.
Ooh,
Oh, hang on. I don't know why my
Okay,
voice is
then.
all
we
why
will.
my voice is all being silly. But,
Gosh.
all right. Well, we're gonna go all weird here for a second. There we go. All right.
Wow.
We can go look at our view your channel.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So then on Tuesday, I did this. So that was 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Okay.
And then the editing took another 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So that's 5 hours, 3 hours. That's probably 8 hours into that video. So 8 hours into a 5-minute video. You get
Sounds
8
right.
hours to do 5-minute video. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So-
that doesn't include all the actual initial viewing.
No, and it was no. And then another probably 45 minutes to an hour last night getting the graphics done because I didn't do the graphics in this. So I did all the graphics.
Yep.
Which are, I mean, they're pretty easy to do because I just do a Bengals orange screen with writing on it. I
Right.
could get a little more creative with that, but
Well, you want to
only
make
do so
sure what you're
much.
presenting is the most important thing, and that's the craziness, not how fabulous your
No.
color background is.
I know. But it does help. All
It is
those
a nice
elements
background.
help.
It's great. It's a nice background.
Yeah. But my background here. Okay, I gotta go back in. Oh, looky there. That's wonderful. What am I going? There we go.
I'm curious, Rob, if
Back
you
to
could,
that.
think back like a year or more now
Yeah.
when we were initially looking at this case. I mean, this was before any of us knew that the trial was just going to be a 3-monkey circus. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it had like gathered our attention before then, So it's just kind of weird how it's evolved into this because this could have been, something normal, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts just did a proper investigation and they're holding a proper trial and a fair one.
Well,
But
yeah.
no, it's like we knew intuitively this one's going to be on the news.
Right. No, and they're
They're going to
We
write
did-
books about this case.
yeah, we still have the gavel over there on the table.
Yeah.
We did Jody's the
Right.
judge. And
Yeah.
and Jody even said, like she leaned more towards the guilt side than the innocent side when we did that whole looked at
Yeah.
Right.
the different aspects of the trial. But I mean, yeah, it's just it's amazing how insane this whole thing has been.
Sure.
It really is. Here and I got some stuff pulled up. Actually, I got some notes from this week. This week got even crazier. Can you believe this
Crazier.
shit? It got crazier. So let's go take a peek at how freaking crazy it got. I need a second to move some stuff over to my other screen. Okay, so we've got You're going to use the, what's that?
I'll be right back. I had to unlock the door for Benji.
Oh, okay.
My keys are hanging in it.
That's why he needs it unlocked.
All right. Let's go ahead and share that. Share this screen. Share that. Okay. So this is Trooper Buchanan. If you might remember one of my videos. Exactly. This is Trooper Bukaki. Oh yeah. So here is the video that they introduced. So I guess it was they did some late. I was mistaken the other day. They did some late discovery. So they did actually give this to the defense, I guess, but it was after the trial started that they went and got this. But they did file a notice of late discovery or whatever, right? So here it goes.
I'm showing you a disc. Just have to look at that.
Showing you a disc. So he hands him the disc. And this is Miss Brandy Churchwell, 13th juror. 13th juror. She's an awesome content person.
You recognize that, sir?
This trial.
Yes, I do.
She's got a really good podcast about this whole trial that she updates every few days too. So
What do you recognize that to be?
The Canton Police Department driveway with video.
And what's contained on that is that fair and accurate portrayal of yourself in the tow truck pulling into the Canton Police Department driveway.
Is that fair? Go back and listen to that again.
Portrayal of yourself in the tow truck.
One more
video.
time.
And what's contained on that is that fair and accurate portrayal of yourself in the tow truck pulling into the Canton Police Department driveway on that afternoon or early evening of January 29th.
Yes, it is.
Right, Protron?
Okay, so they give him the disc, right? So he says, yes, that is a fair and accurate portrayal of what happened in the garage, in the Sally pot. Okay, so we get into playing the video. All right,
Other than
here we
that,
go.
I don't remember exactly who else was present at
Okay, so
this moment in time.
watch this here.
If you could, sir, using the laser pointer before you, just direct your attention to where you observe yourself and where you observe Trooper Proctor.
That's Trooper Proctor and myself. Yeah.
Okay, so what you saw that, right?
Mhm.
You guys saw that. What did he do? Who did he say Trooper Proctor was?
The one by the garage door.
Okay. Watch that again. One more time.
That's Trooper Proctor and myself.
That's Trooper
yeah.
Proctor. That's myself. And who did he say his self was? The front of the car, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just so you know.
Well, that's the way the pointers showed.
That's
I
what
couldn't
the
even
pointer
see the
showed.
pointer.
Did you see the pointer?
No, but my screen's
Okay.
really small. Here, I'll open it up. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, open it up big time there.
Before you, just direct your
More time.
attention to where you observe
So you can
yourself
see
and
it.
where you observe
Yeah.
Trooper Proctor.
That's
See the
Trooper
pointer?
Proctor
Yep,
and myself. Yeah.
You see the pointer up
see it,
front of the
yeah.
car. Front
Like
of the
a
car,
laser.
right? Yep. So he
Yes.
did a laser pointer. I got one
Gotcha
more.
too. He's in the back of the vehicle,
Yeah.
right?
So let's just take a look at this thing. So see the police right here?
Yeah.
That's backwards, right? See where it says police on that car?
Where?
Oh, okay.
On the left, on the bottom.
okay,
right.
yeah.
I see.
See that?
Yeah.
Now look at the 4 on the door up here, on the door of the
That's
thing.
backwards.
That's
It's
backwards.
backwards, right? So, okay. Let's go over here to day 21. Let's go to 243 and let's say, okay.
Correct?
Indicated, and stop. Yesterday, when you testified, you indicated that the two individuals in this scene were you and Trooper Proctor, correct?
Not correct. There was 2 individuals in.
Catch that?
He said it was not correct.
He said that's not what he testified to.
Yesterday, when you testified, you indicated that the two individuals in this scene were you and Trooper Proctor, correct?
Not correct. There was 2 individuals in the rear of the vehicle. I shined my light to. That was me and Trooper Proctor.
Do you see Trooper Proctor towards
Did he not shine his light to the front of the vehicle and said, that's me?
Well, I thought when he did say it, he said, that's Trooper Proctor and me. And then the laser came over to this other person. But his laser was over here when he pointed that he was here.
Okay, that's. I mean,
So
that's
just to give him,
the benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought the timing was a little off on what he was highlighting.
Yeah. No, I
Good catch.
gotcha. I mean,
But I would still imply that he was highlighting the person in the front of the vehicle as him, just in order, because I only see one person over there.
right. No, exactly. There's no second person over here. Okay, so let's see what else we got here.
It's so small at the bottom.
Let's play it for about 10 seconds.
So watching the back here. I'm gonna back it
There's
up 5
two people.
seconds. So you see that person there?
I saw the second person.
Okay, now watch what happens. Boop.
What a miss.
The person. He just appears. Did you see
Is
the
that a
person
loop?
just appear?
At the bottom.
Let's play it for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, you tell me, because this is. I mean, because you got this. So there's a person right
Yeah, right
here. See
there.
him right there. Person just walked out of frame, and then you got a head right
Yeah,
here.
I
Right.
see the head.
Okay, so then you got that person that just appears.
Huh.
Just appeared. And then that person walks out of the frame. That person's still there. And then somebody goes walking out.
Right. So now it looks like there would be three,
Right.
except what if
Did you see
one
another
looked
person
looped?
just appear toward the rear end of the car?
There was a fog of some sorts. It did appear as if a person was actually in. There was two people back there, and two people.
Okay, so let's think about this too.
I know Fog did that.
That this is a reversed image, right? So let's listen here. Let's listen to this little exchange here too. You're gonna like this little exchange here. And the judge.
Your image is not an accurate,
Backwards.
Okay, so let's
Look yourself in the mirror.
correct? Just wanted to make
This is the
point.
argument they get into.
Everything in this video is completely backward, correct?
It's not backwards. It's mirrored, reversed. You can look yourself in the mirror in the morning. You still see your own face. It's not backwards.
Oh,
But my mirror image is not an accurate depiction of who I am. My
Jack.
actual physical appearance is who I am, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
A mirror image, Sergeant, is not an accurate video of this, is it?
Objection.
It's a mirror image by definition.
Sustained. Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Your Honor, thank you. I don't know what I need to.
So just to reiterate, when you're looking at this image in your brain as just a normal person without thinking about how the image is backwards, where is the passenger seat? Where's the passenger part of the car?
On the right hand side.
The one facing us.
Yeah.
Right. When you look at this image, your brain tells you that the passenger side of the car is the side closest to the
Yeah.
camera, correct? And so that would make the passenger side taillight
What they're standing next to.
what they're standing next to.
Yes.
Which instead it's the opposite. The other side is the passenger side.
How does that?
I don't understand.
I don't understand how they're getting this as the reverse.
Okay.
You know,
Why did this become reversed? Why isn't it normal?
Nobody knows yet. There are people that think it's because that's the way the camera made it, or
Well, then it has to be thrown out because it's not it's not correct evidence.
When
let me get to okay, here we go. I kind of show you this. So that is that's what it should look like.
Yeah.
That is what it should look like. This is what you're seeing. Let me give it a minute here to okay, sorry. We're having a shutdown. It's all going crazy.
It's not
All right.
8:45, is it?
Probably. Yeah, it's 7:45.
7:45. Okay.
Yep. So
Just-
that's what it should look like, and of course, my video just completely took it.
Because
So
then
that's
you
what
see
it
like a
should look
side by
like.
side, basically.
Yeah. No, I mean yeah.
That's
It's
insane. This
insane.
needs
It's
to like be internationally, like not just federally, but like internationally. Like all of you need to go to prison in this bubble. Like we just need to put a bubble over your town or over your houses,
it's yeah.
and you get kicked off. They like these people should be kicked off the island.
And the judge is saying objection. You got to
Yeah,
figure out a
it's-
different way to.
Is
Well,
she?
the other attorney's saying
Yeah.
the judge is
but she's-
sustaining it.
Right. She's sustaining it. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, how do you It's not a.
Well, what we're not getting here is what the objection is. He's just saying objection goes sustained. So it's. I mean,
Right,
I'm
there's
sure.
no- there's
I'm
no-
sure the judge and the attorneys know it's like objection argumentative.
No.
You know, but the people listening
that's-
don't.
That's what she's done. She's made it so that they're not allowed to state the reason for their objection, so she can make it up herself.
Wow.
No, there's no real
There's still
benefit
some.
of the
Well,
doubt. of
Robbie
this
was
There's still
her-
some
of her-
rules
listening to it all
sure,
day long.
But I'm just saying, in court, there's rules of criminal procedure, and it might fall into whatever their court rules are. I mean, there could be some lawyers are a pain in the butt, sort of reason as to why they do it this way.
No, it's up to the judge.
Oh, sure, the judge
In
gets to run their courtroom the way they want. I mean,
No,
it's-
if you'd have been watching this trial, some of the things that she has sustained because she sustains a whole lot more. I mean, the defense doesn't object very often, but the prosecution objects all the time, and she probably sustains 75% of their objection. And a lot of the lawyers that are watching this trial are going, why? Why would you sustain that? There's no legal basis for you to sustain that.
Wow.
And maybe I'll go back and maybe that's another good idea for a video.
Yeah.
Sustains just objections that have been sustained where lawyers have said, why are you sustaining
Sure.
that? Because it happens once a day at least, if not multiple times
Oh,
a day.
look at him. He's on fire, people.
Mhm.
He's just jumping in his skin, ready to start.
Let's do it. All right.
Well, now I think about it, because you're just supposed to stand up and say either I object or objection, and then the judge asks you, basically like stop everything and ask you, what is the point of your objection?
No, usually there's a standard of objection, argumentative, objection, hearsay, objection, whatever. They will state the
right.
objection
Hollywood
and
does
they'll
that, but
state
I remember
it happens.
court procedure here that basically we say, like, when people are pro se, we tell them just say objection, then the judge will ask you what your objection is.
Right.
Which in the movies they speed it up by just going objection, argumentative, or repetitive, whatever.
Well, and like you said, though, it does come down to the judge.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times where, I mean, in the Rittenhouse case, the judge wanted the reason for it, right?
Mhm.
And so he said, state objection and state your reasoning. And then I was going to say the Darrell Brooks trial.
Oh boy. Oh boy. You're saying
Grounds.
they needed to. Did they ever give him a copy of Rules for Criminal Procedure?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, right. Okay, so
Proceed or
speaking, all
read
right,
it.
so that's good. That kind of parlays us into the next thing. All right, I got a fun little one here.
I got a loop.
All right, I got a fun one for you here.
You got a loop.
I don't think so. Oh no. Oh, I turn off here. I'm hearing myself. You probably heard us too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this trial happened today. Right. Person is Mr. Josiah Marquise Beecham. Mr. Beecham is on trial in Florida for drugs. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through some moments of this trial, and then at the end, I want you to tell me what you think the jury is going to say, guilty or
No
not guilty.
writer.
All right, so here is
All the good news stories come out of Florida.
yeah. Oh yeah. So here's 214 of the trial. Let's see what we got here. So here's the prosecution interviewing the police officer.
We have a screen.
Oh, yeah. What the heck? I apologize. I'm showing us, aren't I? What am I doing here? Yeah, share the screen. Thank you. Thank you very much, buddy. Nope, entire screen. Share audio. Thank you. There we go. Can you see it now?
Almost. Yes.
All right. Okay. So
Traffic stop on that date.
I did.
Where was that traffic stop? Where was that located?
So here's just saying, we did a traffic stop.
Fairland Avenue and West Beach Drive.
And what was the basis for conducting that traffic stop?
When I turned on to West Beach Drive from Balboa, I witnessed a vehicle in front of me that was having a hard time maintaining its lane.
So the standard cop answer of he's kind of not maintaining his lane. How many times you heard that one?
I'd say that's normal, right?
Well, yeah, it's a normal reason.
It's a
cop
reason to get
stop
pulled
you.
over.
It is. So some more of the
Ultimately,
direct.
as a result of this traffic stop, did you end up searching the vehicle?
I did because I developed probable cause to search it after I had plain smell of marijuana.
Did you?
So we got the next the next cop meme of I smelled marijuana.
I smell marijuana.
And you notice they can't ever reproduce that smell for the jury to say, yeah, I'll bet you he did smell marijuana. The cop just gets to say he does.
Mhm. I smell weed. I smell weed.
Yeah, want to get high.
Okay. Oh, all right. So we'll move on here to see what's next one. 227. All right, 227.30. There's some more direct thing. Well, here we go. We're gonna get the
Officers
gonna get the
states
what he found. So
we've got a couple different things in this photograph. We've got these two
found some
containers in
stuff
front.
here.
We've got a bag of some kill stuff in the back.
white powdery substance.
Smells just like weed.
These three items
Right.
located in the
It
same
is.
place.
That is so.
I'm not
so
sure
weedy.
weed is white powdery substance.
White weed is usually not white powdery substance. You are correct.
It's
So-
the white
Or
raven
the
of
same
the
bag in the back
weed.
seat as
All right.
the
So this
item
is
that was
kind of a.
collected in States Exhibit 2.
Yes.
Ron, it's time to
So
state
the
remove States
defendant's
Exhibit 3
like,
then.
can I see that?
Yes, Mr. Stump, you're short. Mr. Beecham, please.
So they're going to hand the defendant the drugs right now.
Oh, they're going to hand the defendant
I
the
don't see
drugs.
this going poorly at all.
You don't see this going poorly at all. No,
Does he
not
eat
at
them?
all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's like
Does he
no
eat them?
more evidence. No more evidence. All right, so there we go. So that's the standard cop stuff, right?
Right.
Standard cop story. So here's
I like all your
Mr.
likes.
Beecham.
Did I challenge you in any manner or ask for any, challenge the reason why you stopped?
You challenged me as far as why I stopped you, my authority to stop you, and you immediately wanted me to
Authority!
have Bay County Sheriff's Office arrive on scene because you did not want to speak with me. You also stated that I was violating the treaty between you and the state of Florida several times.
You are violating me
Boy,
between my
those sovereign
state,
citizens.
Oh my
Florida.
gosh, right. And then let's see. So up to 238. All right, here we go.
So apparently there was
Another
an
little
outer
bit of
plastic
the-
bag and an inner brown bag.
What
in his
unproven
trunk.
evidence is sitting right there. And in that brown bag, would you relate that to the court? What all was found in that brown bag? Would you relate that to the court?
There was the two items in front of me, and then there was bags individually wrapped that contained a green leafy substance that had the distinct odor of marijuana. And it was individually wrapped as well.
Oh no, he's
Was
making
that
it worse.
all that was found?
Were they
Because
joints?
these
So yeah, I mean, it was stuff.
Stuff.
Oregano.
Yeah.
It's like pushing the button that deactivates.
So this is kind of when they
based on the amount of pressure, yes. Like I said, I had to push you against a car to control you because you were not cooperative.
getting a little. The cops getting a little like
Get a little heated. Yeah,
"What's
take it
up
a little
with you?"
personal.
Yeah, he is. So
Then you called me fat.
Said I can't read good.
Behind the seat on the floor.
No, they were behind your driver's seat in the passenger seat.
what does that mean?
Behind the driver's seat in
So the
your
back passenger.
back passenger
The
seat.
back seat on the driver's side is where the items
He
were
gets.
behind.
He's getting a little snippy
He's
too, right?
yeah.
He's getting a little pissed.
Hot under the collar.
Behind, so the back seat on the driver's side is where the items were located.
Okay. On the floor.
Getting a little grumpy. Getting a
Listen,
little
effer.
grumpy. So okay, so we'll go on up here. So here's your next witness because there were only 2 in this whole trial.
Was it his friend Teddy?
No.
No. Okay.
It was not Teddy.
Teddy!
Teddy Ruxpin?
Teddy, don't lose that number. I don't think it's Teddy.
No.
What is it? Something. Ricky.
And were you
Ricky,
able to
don't lose
determine
that
what that
number.
substance was?
Yes.
What was that substance?
I identified cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine!
Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Green leafy
Total weight
cocaine.
was 15.17 grams, plus or
15
minus
grams of the other
0.20
substance.
grams.
And that 15 grams, I think you testified earlier, that is the weight of the substance alone and not any packaging that it's in. correct?
Yes, yes.
And were you able to
Alright,
determine
so-
what that 15 grams of substance was?
Yes.
And what was that substance?
I identified methamphetamine.
So we got methamphetamines and we got some cocaine.
So ain't weed.
All right, so they partying. All right, so
A little
let's go
too
up
hard.
Here, go up here to some closing.
Is that
Yeah,
the
a little
weed,
confusing
or
earlier.
the
I'm gonna
marijuana?
Clarify some of that for you real quick. But like I told you, I have to prove 3 things beyond a reasonable doubt, count 1. The first thing that I have to prove is that the defendant knowingly possessed the substance. Second thing I have to prove is that that substance was methamphetamine. And the third thing I have to prove is that methamphetamine weighed more than 14 grams. The real issue in this case is that first thing, whether the
2 of
defendant
them.
possessed the substance.
Yep.
I don't think that there's any dispute that these items are methamphetamine and that it weighs 15 grams, more than 14. You heard that testimony from the FDA analyst, Sam Catalani.
Now he's saying, that's what I got to prove. I got to prove to you
Yeah.
that you possessed it. It was in your car. It was behind your seat.
I kind of like
Right?
that. It's not fancy. It's just to the
Mhm.
point and why we're here.
Yep. So here's the
So,
defendant. There's a little bit of his closing argument.
The weight or any of that, because I didn't even know those items existed. And that's what I was trying to prove to you guys today. And the other items that supposedly ties me to the drugs allegedly found in my pocket, like we say, wasn't video capture because I turned the camera off.
I accidentally turned the camera off because I wanted to.
He allegedly
So I
found
got
something
after him.
and put it with some other stuff to say that I had it wasn't a bag or known of another bag, but I'm not even charged with it. So I had a drug.
You
on
wanna
me
be?
that-
So okay. So there we go. We got both sides. We got a little bit of both sides.
Uh-huh.
So you're the jury. Guys, be the jury. What do you think?
Hey, cool cats. You all done meth? Come on.
I think he's a drug dealer and he's trying to play dumb in front of the jury.
Okay. So if you were on the jury, you'd vote guilty, correct?
I'd vote guilty.
Based on what we've seen, yeah,
Mm.
sure.
Okay. Let's see how our jury.
Of course, we
voted
didn't hear any
today.
defense witnesses.
No, there were none.
Oh, good.
There were no defense witnesses. It was only him. It was only his cross-examination of the witnesses. All right. Are we ready? Oop. I'm not because I can't get to the right spot. Okay.
State of Florida, in Bay County. State of Florida versus Josiah Marquise Beecham. Case number 23 CF 4175. We, the jury, find as to the defendant, Josiah Marquise Beecham, as follows. Count one, the defendant is not guilty. Count two. Would say we are dated the 7th day of June 2024. Four-person, Nick listed now.
Does anyone wish to have the jury polled?
He beat it.
All right.
He beat the charges.
Pro se defendant, sovereign citizen, beat drug charges in the state of Florida today.
Wow.
And that's freaking big. Now when the jury, watch the lawyer when the jury verdict comes out. Watch his little pirouette here.
I saw a little bit. I'm out. Going to
Does anyone wish
Chili's.
to have
Count two. Count one, the defendant is not guilty. Count two, the defendant is not guilty. Would say we are dated
He just stops. He totally just stops in his tracks. He goes, I'm out.
Count two, the defendant is not guilty. Would say we are dated the 7th day of June 2024.
What did they not prove that?
Nick listed now.
Does anyone wish to
Yeah,
have the jury polled?
He beat it.
All right.
Now my guess would be because of the possession was not actually, he did not actually have possession of the drugs.
Despite them being in his car.
There was another person in the car with him. All right.
Okay.
So you could always say, well, that was that other person's,
And
whatever.
the attorney
Or-
did say knowingly possess.
Right. Yep.
And knowingly would be a key word.
And the other thing was the kind of the cop attitude too.
Yeah.
Right? Like so when you're on a jury and you're seeing the interactions and this cop is kind of like,
Yeah.
why am I even here? You just need to be behind bars. This was basically
Right.
that was the vibe the cop was giving off.
And
is
so the people are kind of like, well, F you. Yeah. And
exactly.
And I
So-
smell weed, but you never found weed.
Yeah.
You didn't charge him
Right.
with weed.
You're not
You
a
charged him with
competent
these
cop.
other drugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So not guilty.
Wow. Good for you, buddy.
I
You
mean,
beat the system.
You see, he was still in his prison garb, it looked like.
Oh,
which
was,
means,
yes.
and it was
Yes.
a 23 case. So he'd been in jail for at least 6 months. I didn't catch what day it was that he got arrested, but it looks
did
like he
not
was held no
either, yeah.
bail.
Right.
Only to be not guilty at the end of it.
And so he gets no.
It's strange he was in prison garb in front of the jury dressed like that, though, because normally they get you a suit or something so
it would
you
be
don't look like you're shackled.
I think he actually I think that was
chose?
part of his play.
Ah.
I think that was part of his
This is the victim kind of a thing.
yes, correct. I think
This is what they're
because he
forcing me to
even-
do. And I didn't do
he even-
anything.
and I remember hearing something about him using his garb as, kind of like try to get a pity thing or something out
Sure.
of the jury.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
I've been
honestly,
in
in
jail,
if I was in that situation, I couldn't tell you I wouldn't do that.
right?
I'm going to use whatever I could.
Yeah, but even your attorney would normally
Provide
pretty
you
much
something.
advise you to wear different
Yeah,
clothes so you don't look like
exactly.
you deserve to be locked up. That's why you
Right.
are locked up, because you deserve it.
Yeah. Not to, I know we're getting to closing time, but in
Oh,
one of
yeah, we
my
can
classes
do
that
whatever.
we were do the class that on Thursday, and we were given this question, and it was, do you think that these services are available to all these types of people? Do you think that is everything out there and we've done enough and everyone's covered? Yes or no, and why? And so all the groups came back, and then the question was, for the Alaska Natives, do you think the state has provided enough accesses to be able to test them so we can capture their data and place them in our systems? And who needs, special education, who needs gen ed, whatever. And so most of us, pretty much everyone said no. Part of it is, the internet. Nothing's reliable up there. So you have a lot of weather and things like that. Second is funding, keeping people in positions to be able to go up there, have housing, have access to all the people, all those things. But
Right.
the third which I think is pretty safe to say, was no trust in the system. Why should I even give you guys any of my information? Right? And I was like, yeah, I get it. So seeing these jurors with this man, again, it's this mistrust of the system.
Right.
And I get it.
No. Oh, yeah. No, I think it's.
We got some cleaning up to do before people can trust certain organizations, the Catholic Church.
And there is a term that's out there in the legal world which gets bandied about, and you've probably heard it, Michael, with jury nullification.
Yeah.
It is a concept that the juror is the jury, the jurors, individual jurors are the ultimate arbiters.
Fact, yeah.
They are the ultimate deciders of facts, right?
Oh.
So you could say this is a rectangle.
Okay.
Okay. And then you could go into the court and you could go up to the jury and show them this and say, this is a rectangle.
You could show them the definition of a rectangle.
Show them the definition. Exactly.
All the evidence and proof you need to say,
right,
that's a rectangle.
The defense could get up and say, we agree. That is a rectangle. The jury could go into the jury room and say,
that's a circle.
That is a circle. And the verdict would be, that is a circle.
That's insane.
That
example is insane.
That is an extreme
Yeah.
example.
Okay.
We're not putting rectangles on trial.
Yeah.
So basically, it's in the hands. It's truly in the hands of the people.
Correct.
Of your fellow mankind.
Jury of your peers.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the concept of jury nullification is that's a really simplified thing.
Okay.
As you know, let's say that this person is actually guilty of something, but they were treated so harshly that the jury said it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're getting tired of the police busting everyone for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So they could really change history in a sense.
Case by case.
Case by case.
And I mean, you know how the general public normally is, so I don't put too much stuff.
And
right.
This case
This
case is not going to affect the next case.
Right.
Right.
But I think
exactly.
They were saying how somebody was not persuading me to go after a car accident to go to trial, because a lot of people nowadays don't want to give you any money because why should you have money and I don't have money? I don't know if that's the truth, but I could, that's one viewpoint.
My attorney told me that juries are getting away from the rainmaker, verdicts or amounts awarded and whatnot.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, you don't actually deserve that. Nothing you went through equals this.
Right.
Unless your name is Maya and you.
But an example of jury nullification will be the O.J. Simpson verdict.
Big time, yeah.
More than enough evidence convicted him. Well, even jurors are coming out now 20 years later through interviews and whatnot, mentioning, yeah, we thought he did it, but it was just an FU to LAPD for making our lives hell. LA was a war zone.
No, it was.
Yeah,
this was
they
right
were
after
tired
Rodney King. But the defense did lay enough foundation to give them enough reasonable doubt to make that, even though you're right, they probably thought he was guilty. What they did, especially to the forensic people, put and so Mark
Where
Furman,
is it, Mr. Fung?
Mark Furman and Fung and Andrea Pizzoli ruined that case for the state, basically. So,
Christopher Darden having him put those gloves on.
Because one of the people I follow was recently following this for like the last 12 months. Every Thursday, he'd show a little bit of the OJ trial at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I would catch that. And
Christopher Darden having him put the gloves on in front of the jury was a big mistake too.
Darden with the gloves. And then this guy named...
There was a whole episode on that. Remember, Michael?
Yeah. You don't give the defendant a chance to do something in front of the jury that you can't control.
Yeah. There was, did you see that show, Robbie? The The People versus OJ or something, but it was one of those 12-part miniseries.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
really,
parts of it.
really
Yeah.
good.
I forgot how much they just roasted Marsha Clark alive. The media and
So
whatnot.
no, they
yeah.
did, and then so Dennis Fung was the chief, was the primary criminologist
Okay.
in that case. This is very, very beginning of DNA evidence collection.
Yep.
This is very, very beginning of blood evidence collection. Of
Other than just like
really
blood
testing
type.
it, right?
Yeah.
Blood typing it. Dennis Fung on the stand for at least 7 days.
That's a long time.
That sounds like a long time, but the real long time in this was like the 7 months the jury was sequestered.
Oh gosh,
I'd have been just mad by the end of the fourth month. Probably by the end of the second.
The jury had to go to a hotel room every night. They didn't go home.
Oh, I know.
until the
I've served
end
in
of
a jury
that-
before.
Yeah. But
Except they didn't even get to use like any of the hotel's amenities. They really weren't allowed to leave their hallway. So they couldn't go down and use the pool or, the lounge downstairs. Nothing. You get
That's really
your room or you get the end of this hallway. And when you get to the end of this hallway, you got to turn around and go back to your room.
Yeah, right.
Jeez Louise. And if only he, one stupid person hadn't done one stupid thing, horrible thing, we wouldn't have been here dealing with all this shit. I'd be mad at that too.
Well, I remember one that wasn't brought up, but reading afterwards, not OJ, but his son from his first marriage.
Yes.
Who isn't well off mentally, and he was a line cook by trade
Yeah, I
at
thought
the time.
he did it.
So, and he would have had one of these knives, that they say was used.
Uh-huh.
So there absolutely was.
So the blood would
speculation.
have linked to OJ because it was his son's blood.
Right.
Right.
So, but that wasn't actually even brought up in the trial at all either.
No, that was.
It was
that
the cops
a-
are bad. The cops are racist.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mark Furman said the N-word 800 times. You don't realize that's where we got the N-word from too. Christopher Darden is also the person that's responsible for us saying N-word.
Oh,
the actual,
instead of
saying not the N-word, but
N-word.
saying
Oh.
Because
N-word.
F. Lee Bailey straight up said it.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, no, that
I thought you were like, I was like,
the
huh?
N-word.
That's been around longer than that.
Yeah, no.
But saying literally the N-word. Yeah. It's like,
It's definitely been around longer than that. You are correct. It has been.
But
It's been
F. Lee
around
Bailey,
forever.
just an old drunk at the end of his career.
Oh man. But that was, OJ assembled a team of lawyers that were just
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Even Alan Dershowitz.
Oh yeah, Dershowitz and
was that
Barry
Nathan Lane who played that lawyer, the old timey?
Barry Scheck. Barry Scheck was a brilliant freaking legal mind. He's the one. He was more.
He was like the
technical.
youngest one on the team.
He was very technical, so he's the one that did all the forensic cross
And
examination.
the Kardashian guy was on the OJ side, right?
Yeah, well, he was a family
Yes.
friend of
Oh, he was a
OJ's.
family friend. That's right.
And he was kind of like the. If you're going to label him as anything, label him as like the project manager.
Gotcha.
He was kind of put the team together. Johnny Cochran was the quarterback, as the legal thing would, but the Kardashian was the project manager. He kept everybody together and got,
paid.
But
kind
he
of
would be
ran the staff.
He was
and-
also the attorney that really had the second doubts.
right.
As
Oh,
they're
yeah.
putting their
Yeah, yeah.
defense together, going, we don't have anyone else to pin this on. It's like they say it's OJ, we're saying it's not, but
you got
we
no
don't
other
have
guy.
any other person.
Yeah.
Right. No, exactly. Well, the good thing is when you're on the defense, you don't, you
Right.
don't have to prove somebody else did it. You just have to prove
Prove
you
I
didn't
didn't.
do it. And not even that. You just have to show that the prosecution, you just got to put doubt.
Doubt.
Right. It's
Yeah.
all about doubt.
1/12
Reasonable doubt.
for
And you need-
1/12 of the
Right.
jury pool.
Correct. Because they can either they can either decide that you are not guilty, or one person can say, nope, I'm sticking with my guns, and you have a hung jury, and then you got to do it all over again.
Right.
If they want to.
Right. So that's another thing about the jury nullification thing is it only takes one. But
well, the jury nullification ends it then and there, because if you are acquitted, that verdict's entered, they cannot retry it.
But you could also have a one person that's going to do the jury nullification, and they can make it a hung jury.
Right.
A lot of times, sometimes there's rules where they can kick the juror off. And
Right. We got to
put 'em
wrap
back
it
on
up.
and
Michael has to
everything.
do a delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And on that note, don't have any doubt that we will be back next week.
Anyone who's planning on being on a jury nullification is illegal.
Not really.
Well, they can't actually go after you if you do it, but it does violate your oath of juror. It is against the
Correct.
rules of court. You
can't
have
really-
to weigh the evidence presented and make an accurate finding.
And you can't talk about it.
Right.
You can't talk about you can't blatantly do it, but it's not exactly.
As the defendant, you cannot recommend to the jury that this is one of your
you cannot.
options.
Absolutely cannot. So okay. We will be back next week. You got it, Jody? You got all that?
Yes.
All right.
We'll be back next week.
Thank you, everybody. All right. Good night.
See ya.
Goodbye.